big cliffhanger for the season finale, and the theme of that finale is things change. That's it.
Maybe a little inkling as to how the machine works.
Yeah. Gotta stay tuned. We're having fun working with all of those actors. We get some fun material for them next year.
Yeah, if they're good and they ain't dead, they're probably going to come back.
No, the badge of pride in this show is getting killed off. That's the ultimate.
Right.
The ultimate.
That's
praise.
right. You've reached the pinnacle.
Yeah, that's a sophisticated question.
Yeah, that's really deep. No, I think for us, obviously this is something that could circle into something very didactic and preachy, where we get into that aspect of the show. We're trying to avoid that, and I think the big thing for us is, I think Joan and I, we've sort of grown up in an era now where it's like social networking, all this stuff is commonly accepted, but we've sort of seen the advent of the cell phone, the GPS that can track you and all that stuff, and the questions started to arise, and I think in both our heads, it's like, at what point does this become too much? Is it something that you think the government is monitoring? And the thing that we found that was very interesting about it is how much people gave up voluntarily. When you actually you click on the end user license agreement, whether you sign up for the social network or what you even don't turn off on your phone, and it's I think it's something that we just use and we play it as background to say, like, it's a given, it's there. There's no way you can keep out all this. Whether or not the viewer makes the decision for themselves, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, is up to them.
I grew up in the UK where. For a long, long time, they've kind of put cameras on every corner. I remember moving to the States when I was a kid and assuming that the cops knew everything you were doing all the time, and then sneaking out one night with my friends and realizing, actually, they don't really know what's going on. So it's sort of all, kind of rooted in that idea of the surveillance state and the idea that someone is watching you. And then we just sort of became interested in the next question, which is, well, what, now the surveillance state really exists. In the last 10 years in America, they've put up, local police force, federal money, all sort of converged on putting cameras in as many places as possible. When you go to Manhattan, we shoot in New York with the show every week. There are sort of an uncountable number of cameras. So we just got interested in, well, what would you do with all that information? What would the people watching be able to do if they knew about these sort of terrible things that were happening in advance? So I think it's something that the character, Finch's character, and this is true of Michael Emerson too, very thoughtful person. And I think one of the things we're exploring in Flashback is the ethics of doing what he's done, building what he's built, and all of the sort of journey that he went through to get there, and the decisions he made along the way. I think it's kind of, for us, kind of endlessly fascinating ethical playground, and highlights the complexities of that character.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, being privy to that sort of knowledge definitely becomes a moral question as the show goes on. And to say, like, you have the capability to look into something like that, or to make something like that probable or predictable, or whatever word you want to use, do you have a duty to do something about it? And I think that's an ongoing moral question for the show.